President Cyril Ramaphosa has praised the Eastern Cape government for investment projects that have been initiated to boost the economy through ports and the Coega Special Economic Zone. The president has been speaking today during a two-day oversight visit to the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro.
We've come here to the Port of Ngqura on an inspection visit, just to come and see how the port is operating and what the developmental opportunities there are with regard to taking this port to a much higher level, and to engage with the executives of Transnet together with the minister, and to hear what their plans are with regard to this port, as well as the SEZ here in Ngqura. So this has been a most impressive inspection visit, because I've been able to see and to listen very carefully to some of the plans that they have to upgrade this port and to make sure that as the deepest water port in the country, it is able to service ships that can come around here and in fact to attract ships. We are well endowed as South Africa with regard to wonderful harbors and ports. We've got Durban, we've got Ngqura, we've got Cape Town, we've got the East London one and Saldanha, and a number of other small ones. And Richards Bay is another important one. So as a country surrounded by almost 2.8 kilometers of seawater, we are well endowed. We've got huge, wonderful natural resources which we need to exploit to a higher level. And being here has given me, the ministers who have been here in this visit, the opportunity to see that we can grow our economy enormously and make South Africa a hub in as far as the ocean's economy is concerned. And this being part of our ocean economy master plan, it's well positioned, and obviously we have to bring in a lot of investments, and it is to this end that the government will play its own role in investing, as well as attract the private sector to come and invest quite a bit of their money as well. And in the end, we want to see this contributing to job creation. Already a number of people are employed here, but we want to double and treble the number of people who are employed here. So this has been a wonderful visit, and good work is being done here by the CEO of Transnet, Michelle Phillips, and all those that she works with. And the minister is giving good guidance, and the deputy minister as well. So been a good visit, a very good day at the office.
Let's get you more then on the president's good day at the office. Bring in SABC News politics reporter Samkele Maseko, who's also in the Eastern Cape, in Coega at the Nelson Mandela University, I understand. Samkele, talk to us about what you've been able to see there. The president quite impressed then with these investment initiatives, but what has been their actual impact for the people in the surrounding areas?
Indeed, Tembegile, the president is seemingly impressed with the Ngqura port and the operations that are currently ongoing at that particular port, the deepest sea port that we have within the country that attracts ships all across the world. A lot of particular raw minerals that go out of that particular port of South Africa and going into the international markets, and it also from time to time does exceed the exporting of cars from that particular port. But in most instances, it is raw minerals, it is agricultural products such as citrus, such as sheep that go to the Middle Eastern market that South Africa is now exporting to. That was done and concluded in that visit President Ramaphosa had to Saudi Arabia in 2022. But at this point in time, we are outside this particular PEC meeting of the African National Congress in the Eastern Cape, where President Ramaphosa will be engaging with the Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC in the Eastern Cape province, led by Lubabalo Oscar Mabuya. And after that government event, he is now going to engage with the PEC in the usual trips that he does when he does these oversights in provinces. He goes and he engages with the provincial leadership of the African National Congress. He is doing that here today, particularly looking at some of the issues that this province is facing, such as corruption, such as the crime within this area of Gqeberha, Nelson Mandela Bay municipality, water provision, and the road infrastructure that is largely crumbling within this part of the country and SEZ, Special Economic Zone.
And Samkela, just on that point, I mean, in Gqeberha where you are, we've seen increasing reports, especially in the last year or so, of these apparent extortion syndicates where people are made to pay protection fees even to run business, right? You've got large parts of the Eastern Cape that are still rural and underserviced. So going into the meeting then with the PEC, is it just a calendar event or can we expect something more substantial to come out of the meeting?
It's not just a calendar event. It is one of those meetings that are scheduled prompto when the president of the ANC is in town, and he does randomly call the Provincial Executive Committee to engage on the socio-economic issues plaguing that particular province or that particular town. We do anticipate that the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, who is also the convener of deployees here in the Eastern Cape, will touch on that particular issue of those extortionists who are demanding monies from communities, not only within Gqeberha, but it also prominent in Mthatha, also prominent in areas such as Butterworth as well, which is an issue that is largely plaguing the Eastern Cape as a whole, and that the president of the ANC will want to touch on, particularly ahead of that meeting with the cabinet of the province of the Eastern Cape, where he will be engaging with them alongside a number of ministers, in particular the Minister of Water and Sanitation, the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, and the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, that would be Vulunkosini Hlabisa, looking into the performance of municipalities, looking into the performance of water boards within this particular province, and looking into the infrastructure that is largely bulk infrastructure that provides water provision in the areas of Eastern Cape at large, not just the area of Nelson Mandela Bay. You just seen the Minister of Water and Sanitation, that would be Pemima Chodina, who was out in the Sarah Batman District Municipality opening that water purification plant earlier on during the course of the day. You've seen a number of bridges that have been destroyed here in the Eastern Cape, particularly in natural disasters. Operation Welisizwe, which is a campaign that is largely led by SANDF, the African National Defence Force, alongside the various municipalities and provincial governments to build infrastructure, roads and bridges across the province of the Eastern Cape, Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal. That is also being rolled out here. There will be an update on that particular point as well when President Ramaphosa meets the cabinet of the Eastern Cape. But those issues will also be ventilated in this meeting of the African National Congress, particularly on the issues of the performance of the economy of the Eastern Cape, of the special economic zones that are there within this province, going to the automotive manufacturing hub of East London, coming to Gqeberha as well, automotive agricultural hub of this particular province. You've also got within the port of Ngqura, where we were, the wind turbines for electricity generation, renewable energy. They are also assembled at that particular port. They come in through that port and they're also assembled at that port and then disseminated to the various wind farms that are there within the country, and in particular in the Western Cape and also Eastern Cape and parts of the Free State province.
And lastly, Samkela, two quick questions. Can we expect the president, for example, to comment on the unfolding situation not too far from Gqeberha, where there's been a shooting on campus at the Walter Sisulu University, 1 person dead, 2 injured. And then another thing that we're watching as he meets with ANC leaders is the fact that we're expecting an update, right, on those GNU reset discussions that have been ongoing. Are we getting any sense of which way things might swing?
It is not yet clear because today we did not get that opportunity to engage with him. They were able to address our camera colleagues in the last stop of his tour, where we were not allowed as journalists at that point in time. Only our camera colleagues were allowed. But we are told that we will get an opportunity to engage with the president tomorrow, before or after his engagement with the provincial executive of the Eastern Cape province. We do expect that when he opens that particular meeting tomorrow alongside the premier of the province, Lubaba Oscar Mabuyane, they will touch on that incident of those protests currently happening at the Walter Sisulu University of Technology, if I'm not mistaken, around Mthatha, Butterworth, those particular areas. They may touch on that the unfortunate death of that particular individual in that area. He may also touch when we speak to him and engage with him on the reset reconfiguration button of the government of national unity, particularly noting that the Democratic Alliance had essentially, in the words of those who were in the ANC, had to be put in its place.
Samkele Maseko will keep watching your movements as you watch the movements of the president of the country and the ANC and the cabinet, by the way. A 2-day visit to the Coega area, Nelson Mandela Bay Metro is where they are.